Austin for this semester is an elder. And I really can't go any further than that, but he's ineligible for this semester.
What do you know about Ohio?
We really kind of closing the chapter on Kent. We were watching film earlier. I know they have some new faces, and every team in our league, you got to play. And, you got to do what you do: defend, rebound, and execute on the other end. So, we'll do more on Ohio today and tomorrow.
What have you learned about your team through the first 3 MAC games?
I think we have to continue to improve because we're still a work in progress. There's it's not like when you got a team, where we had last year where, your roles were somewhat defined. You had 3 seniors, Nate, Durham, and Brian Moulton, who you knew for the most part what they were going to bring to the table, and their roles were defined. And then the other parts you could fill in, sort of roles are still being defined and emerging. But you see the direction that you have to go, and this is more offensively than anything. But for us, the foundation has to be, we have to defend and rebound. And it's nice when we got to score some points. It's nice when we can get 76 points. But we have to have the ability to win whether we're making shots or not. And that comes from defensive rebounding. And really, we held Kent to 36% field goal percentage shoot from the floor, which is good, and we out rebounded by 5, but they scored 70 points, and we had to score 76 to beat them. And we averaged a little more. We averaged a little more, over 61, 62 points a game. So we got to tighten up our defense. Get to the 3-point shooters. Guys are getting too many open looks from 3, in my opinion, in our defense. And then we have to continue to execute and share the ball and play fundamental basketball offensively. But I will say this, our team is understanding that we got to keep playing for 40 minutes and we got to be on the grind. We got to be on the grind for 40 minutes. And it's a 40-minute plus game. That's what it's about. So you got to learn to play and keep playing through, come what may. And I believe that was perseverance was a big part of our success at Kent State. We stayed on the grind, we kept persevering, and I think any team, that's what you got to do.
Any more questions, guys?
Coach, you touched on it briefly in your opening, but what does Martin Luther King Day mean to you?
You know what? He was ahead of his time. The reality of it, in my opinion, even though he was dealing with some tough issues, you look back on him and you appreciate him even more now because you see some of the turmoil that is going on around the world, and he was about love and peaceful protest and helping out your brother and being for the underdog, and you look around and you see, really, you see that how our country and even the world's responding to situations like a country like Haiti. That country has been hard hit by a lot of things, and not a rich nation in terms of wealth, but a strong spirit, and they are perseverers without a doubt. But his words are still relevant today, and they stood the test of time. It's amazing when you get prophetic people like Martin Luther King, or you look at people like Paul in the Bible, their words don't get old. You read David's songs or you read Paul's books in the New Testament, and they're still relevant today. And a lot of Martin Luther King's words are still relevant right now. So it's always good to, you gotta look back. You can't forget about important people in our past, and they're so relevant today. So for me, that carries true for him, and it's always good to be reminded. But you look around and you see how relevant his words are. You just look at our country and the world, and we gotta love one another. We gotta be our brother's keeper. That's relationships. That's what life's about, really.
Are there any of his words that have particularly stuck with you, or that are your favorites?
I didn't come in here with thoughts of that, but it's. I mean, as far as a particular quote, but I know I have one. I can't recall it right now, but anytime you hear a man speak, and you kind of get, you get a little bit. It gets into your heart, and you get a little chills because you hear the. He's just such a great orator and such a great speaker. It's so much meaning in what his words say. It's good to hear him again, and they never get old. So, but I can't think of one.
You guys good?